What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy deskofpens, and today I have kind of a special one for ya. So, story time. There I was, kind of traveling through an airport, and I found a little Lamy booth, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I take a photo of it, I send it to somebody, and I'm like, look at these Lamy pens, it's so cool, and I kind of look at them and I see that there's this one pen that's $12. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm so tempted by it. But I also know the airports kind of rip people off a little bit for the price and whatnot. So I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. That's not a good idea financially. That's just not a healthy move to make. I'm not going to go there. So, I walk away, but I couldn't help it. This pen was really just on my mind. So I go back. I'm like, you know what? It's 12 bucks. It's not the end of the world. I go onto Amazon. Actually, but before I go back, I go onto Amazon and I look, and I'm like, what the heck? On Amazon, it's $16. I'm like, no way. This is a steal. So I go and I look at it, and as it turns out, the plastic versions at that same Lamy booth were $12. This metal version of the pen was $27. So ultimately, I flew to my final location, made that purchase via Amazon, and got it the next day. And that's what I'm going to show you today. Bam. The beautiful Lamy Logo ballpoint pen in kind of a brushed stainless steel. It does make me think of the Lamy Studio in brushed stainless steel. And this is a really interesting pen. As you guys know from my video last week, As you guys know from my video last week, I was talking about this pen and how I liked this pen and how it was almost going to be my EDC pen, but there was a bit of a bit of a design flaw that I felt made it a little problematic to have as my only EDC pen if I could have just one EDC pen of a, kind of 5-pen collection. But anyway, I digress, and we are going to look at this thing. We're going to get into some of the designs, and we will return to that design flaw later. But then, I'll tell you exactly who this kind of pen is for. So, let's get into it. So, really quickly, I just want to get into the box, so I'll keep this super short. But basically, it's just the same thing that your Lamy Safari and your Lamy All-Star comes in. This is actually for my All-Star that came in the other day, Ocean Blue. But yeah, it's just a, it's just a nice standard box. Cool. Now we're going to get into the pen itself, and we're just going to start out with the tip down here. So a bit of a taper if you wanted to kind of grip it close. I personally find it to be comfortable enough that that's not really a big deal for me. There are some tapers where I'm like, I just can't do it, but I feel like they kind of give you a very nice distance right here in case you want to grip tightly. If you kind of grip in that area, I honestly think it's going to serve you well. And then of course we have these little gym pins right here, or these, I'm not really sure what to call them. One thing that I will say is on the plastic version of this pen, which perhaps I'll get that and perhaps I'll review that one day. But on the plastic version of this pen, I feel like it's a little more grippy. Now with that said, it doesn't feel super slippery, like, oh my gosh, it's gonna slip out of my hand, all these different things, right? And in my writing experience with it, I don't feel like I've ever had to adjust it. I don't ever feel like I've had to kind of worry like is going to fall out. But at the same time, I do acknowledge that there are much grippier pens out there that are, made of plastic and or rubber. So that is just something to think about. Getting into the, I guess, kind of overall coating, this is a brushed stainless steel. Lamy has a few different pens that look this way. Off the top of my head, the one I can think of, probably the most famous example, is the Lamy Studio in a brushed stainless steel. I personally think that looks really good. If I were to get a Lamy Studio, what's funny is maybe I would get that one due to the rubber grip, but at the same time, I kind of like the look of the Imperial Blue. But anyway, that's kind of a side tangent. But yeah, I mean, overall, this is a very, very nice coating to it. It obviously looks very classy, very, how would I say that? Very business friendly, but it definitely is something that you want to be careful with. For instance, if you put this in a jean pocket, you still run the risk of maybe something scratching against that coating, so that is something just to think about. getting into the clip right here, and we'll kind of get a little more into the design flaw. So first up, one thing I want to point out is Lamy is right here. That's very, very cool. It's honestly very minimalist sort of insignia right there, but I mean, hey, it's nice. I personally would have preferred it had they put it right there, because you could see it while you're writing. At the same time, you can always turn it that way and start writing with it, which is cool. The clip and the click are built into each other, which is very fun. And yeah, and so the nice thing about that is when you go to carry it in your pocket, for instance, let me go ahead and just use this rag as an example. So let's just pretend that this is a jean pocket, right? Usually with a pen that has the click kind of protruding, if you sit down, if you kind of have, a bigger gut or something, right? If you, I don't know, squat down at like a weird angle, you're looking under your car or something, that part right there could get, pressed, and it could, click, right? And so it's kind of like one of these right here, it's a nice little Sharpie S gel. But with a pen like this, and it's the same thing with the Capomatic and a few other pens, the Waterman Allure ballpoint pen is another one that I'm thinking of. When you have one of these nice pens, the nice thing is that you don't have to worry about it getting retracted unless there'd be something inside the pocket under here that's pressing up against it. But the nice thing about the brushed stainless steel is, candidly, this barrel can feel kind of a little bit slick, sort of, right? And so due to that, I think that it'll get scratched before it accidentally deploys, which is both a pro and con. So yeah, the clip itself is nice. It's a nice spring-loaded clip. You have your little color right here to show you that it is in black. You can obviously put any sort of refill you want in here. I don't know if they make this exact brushed stainless steel and any other ink color. They might. I know with the plastic ones, at least according to the Lamy booth, it seemed like they did, which was cool. And so yeah, and so anyway, yeah. So that is the clip and the click, and now I need to show you a very subtle design flaw. So the design flaw is right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but just, oh, I need to cut my nails, I apologize. But okay, so just notice the small part of my nail right there, and then right in between my finger, that little piece of black plastic, that is your design flaw. And the reason why I call it that is because it would seem to me, well, it would seem to me that Lamy didn't quite think this one through, even though they think a lot of their stuff through, because whenever I try and put this on my jeans and I try to pull it out, that little black piece of plastic, whatever it's meant to be there for, it ends up snagging on my jean pocket. And so, and about, I'd say 80% of the time, I'm usually carrying my pen in my jean pocket. So that's kind of difficult. And I'm like, man, this thing doesn't get along with denim. So that's what kind of disqualifies it a little bit from being an EDC pen. But there is an exception to this rule that I'll get to later. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and clip my nails and get to the writing sample. I'll be right back. Really quickly, before we get into the writing sample, I do want to point out just 3 things. Number 1, my nails have been clipped, thank goodness. Number 2, this right here, pretty sure it is a metal threading on metal threading. At least I believe it's going to be metal threading, so that is very nice. And then I also just want to point out, in terms of the refills, I currently have it loaded up with a Jetstream Extra Fine refill. Jet Pens, where I bought this, told me it was 0.5. It's very possible it could be 0.38 though, but I've written with some SXR 600s. I've compared the two. I'm pretty positive it's 0.5. I don't know why it says Extra Fine, but that is what it is. And so anyway, and so we're also going to be writing with the M16 refill. It's a very nice one. This is just the original M16, so I think I'll probably start with the M16 and then we will compare it with the Jetstream and we will go from that point. So, see you all soon. Okay, so that is the writing sample. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and my fun little editing skills there. What I'll say is obviously the Jetstream Inside was much smoother. If I had to pick, I would honestly go with the Jetstream Inside in this pen. I think they're a great combination. But at the same time, as far as the regular is concerned, if you like the Parker Quink Flow, if you like the Schmidt P900 refill, this definitely is kind of more that. Yeah, it's just kind of smooth with a little bit of drag, which some people do like that, to be completely fair, but I felt like this was less of a strain on my hand, and it is weird too, the fact that my ballpoints, because I've been using fountain pens so much, I think my hands are starting to reject ballpoints and anything with a conical tip, which is actually very, very sad, but you know, that just is what it is. So, let me get into some closing thoughts now. Okay, who is this pen for? Well, honestly, I would say anybody with an office job. Like for me, when I'm on the go in my jeans and whatnot, right? It's like it's like this thing gets snagged and stuff, and I could wear, I don't know, gym shorts or something to class, but that's just not really my style. I don't like it with khakis just because my khakis have a weird, they just have a weird angle that isn't optimal for carrying pens. But if I was in a suit and, you know, I had a little coat pocket, a little dress shirt pocket, right? Yeah, this would be perfect for that. So people who are, you know, working an office job, if you're in corporate America, I have put this inside of many coat pockets. I put this on dress shirt pockets, and it's fine. It has not snagged one time. So that is something to think about. You know, that is my kind of my analysis of the pen. It's very good for certain applications, and others, honestly, not so much. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, okay, well, this has been a Desk of Pens production, a Desk of Pens video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, be sure to remember to like and turn on that bell as well, so you can see me upload. You can get notifications when I upload. That would be so fun. We would be happy to have you on board. I would also like to once again thank you all for, I believe it's 1,040 subscribers at this point. That's very, very nice. So, anyway, yeah, this is Desk of Pens, signing off.